crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga tea. Nearing the end of the cleanse, 13 pounds down now. Not bad. Not my best, but not bad. And I feel great. So go to Raw 21 Reboot if you want to do a 3-week cleanse to clear the mind and body. All right, let's talk about my friend Cliff High. I have posted the free interview at roadrunner.com. It's right at the top. It's called Cliff High on the Fate of Silver and Humanity. Amazing interview, 1 hour long discussion with Cliff. Because of censorship rules, I couldn't put it on YouTube. The world is missing history because you can't talk on YouTube about the real things. But go check it out. Also, for private road members, I have just posted a private road bonus section. After Cliff and I were done making the video, we talked for 5 or 6 minutes about the next plan of the bad guys. It is truly, it's not something you can opt out of. Like, we know what's going on. Now you can opt out and just say, hey, I'm going to assert my freedom. This is not something, their next plan to take us out is not something you can opt out of. So private road members, go check that out. It's in the private road section right at the top. There it is. It's called The Bad Guys Next Attack. All right, let's talk about silver. Oh my God, yesterday we hit the 200-day moving average. We just kissed it and then got slammed down. That's how important it is. The bad guys are trapped. They're stuck. Yes, they can click a mouse and put it at minus $40 price of silver. But if they want to play by the rules say tech funds have to buy when silver clearly breaks the 200-day moving average. They have to. So right now they're short. So they're all going to plunge in on the long side. Bank of America's shorts, who knows how many they have. They're going to try to cover who's going to be taking their spot. Who's going to be shorting silver when silver goes past the 200-day moving average. Usually, the banksters let it run for a little bit and then start shorting to slow down the highs and then slam it to make money and fleece the world. JP Morgan's not allowed to do that anymore, at least with its own funds. They can do it with customer funds. They kind of run the game along with Virtu Financial. Virtu Financial is a high-frequency trading company. It's an authorized participant of SLV, which is ridiculous. I mean, a company that literally is all about computer trading is an authorized participant in SLV. Those of you who've been on the road know exactly what that is. That's the deep state control mechanism. A guy named Vinny Viola is in charge of that operation, and his counterpart was Bernie Madoff. They were both heads of, I think it was the NASDAQ and the NYMEX. And then they split off, said, we can't do this as official organizations. We got to do it in the slide. Bernie Madoff invented Bernie Madoff Investments. We know what happened there. It was a deep state operation. It wasn't $50 billion Ponzi. It was $500 billion. It wasn't a Ponzi. It was a payoff scheme of computer market rigging to pay off the bad guys. Vinny Viola, they went public. Now, Virtu Financial went public, and they had to disclose that they hadn't made no losses in 8 years on any given day. Is the most amazing track record. No, but that's where the con happens. That's where the deep state is. That's where I'm not even going to go on the other stuff because YouTube will kick me off. Anyway, so yes, silver is rigged, but this 200-day moving average thing, clearly somebody's scared of it. And you look at let's take a look at how close we got. It was 24.61. Now it's 24.59. It changes as obviously as the price changes. So yeah, we're right here, right in here, 24.68. See, it breached it on the 200-day moving average, and you got to go 200 days. Now, 200 days is about a year. There's depending on the year, there's about 252 trading days in a year. So yeah, actually it's less than a year. So actually, the silver, I think the 200-day moving average, Ted Butler was saying, was 26.70. Anyway, 24.70. It's around. We hit $25. We know it's doing well. That's why they had to protect. That's why they're protecting the 200-day moving average. That'll happen until it stops. And when it stops, we could have that existential moment where the COMEX just shuts down. And you wonder, how long has this been in the works, Bix? You've been saying this for a hell of a long time, since the early 2000s. Yes, I have. I know someone who's been saying it longer. Nostradamus. Those of you who follow Nostradamus and love gold and silver have heard this quote a million times. The inflated imitations of gold and silver. Remember, this was thousands of years ago. The inflated imitations of gold and silver, which after the rapture are thrown into the fire, all is exhausted and dissipated by debt, by the debt. All is exhausted and dissipated by the debt. What is the biggest problem in the world? Derivatives and debt. That's exactly what Nostradamus was talking about. Then it says, all scripts and bonds are wiped out. Now this is the interesting part. Nobody talks about this. At the fourth pillar, dedicated to Saturn, split by earthquake and flood, vexing everyone. So, as Cliff was talking in his discussion. Oh, by the way, don't forget, right at the top of roadtoruta.com is the Cliff discussion. Right at the clock, right at the top. You got to go check that out because he talks about earth changes as well. And listen to the end of this. And this is all the timing of Nostradamus. At the fourth pillar, dedicated to Saturn, split by earthquake and flood. That's where we're headed. Vexing everyone, an urn of gold is found and then restored. An urn of gold is found. Where's the largest urn of gold on planet Earth? The Grand Canyon. And then restored. Are we going back to a gold standard? Is what Ruta wrote in the sand really going to happen? That we print money to infinity in order to crash the system and return to a gold standard? Sure looks like it to me. Nostradamus knew it. It's a big deal. This is a big deal, people. And don't get pissed off because it doesn't happen today. This is something that has never happened in human history. As a matter of fact, let me show you something. I went and bought this the other day from the Roman Empire, a denarius. It's their little, it's like a silver dime. But this goes back to 44 BC. This coin, 44 BC. They're not all that expensive unless you got one in really good shape. But here's my favorite, which is, I don't know how much, 17 grams. It's from Athens. A pterodactyl. Check that out. It's really cool. Although, you sit there, you get these NGC, it gets rated and all that stuff. Leave it in the case. Because if you break the case, you got to get it done again. But you want to touch it. You're sitting there going, I want to touch this. I mean, this is 3,000-year-old coins. That's how long this game has been going on. And Cliff and I talk about silver has been money that whole time. That whole time until we get to the takedown of Kennedy. And we have a very brief time where we are off any standard. Now, some may argue in 1913 we went off gold and silver standard altogether because we invented another form of money. And those are Federal Reserve notes. And that's true. But they were two monies trading and being implemented side by side. We still had silver coinage. We still had gold coinage until 1934, 35, when Roosevelt confiscated all the gold. And he didn't confiscate all. Most people didn't turn in their gold, obviously. And just like today, nobody will. If Joe Biden says, okay, I'm confiscating all the gold and silver, do you think anybody would do that? Anybody would turn it in? Unless it's in a big centralized warehouse where they can get their hands on it. Nobody's going to turn in their gold and silver. Are you kidding me? Remember, government is criminality at its worst. And that's what we're in right now. We are in a criminal system. So yeah, I mean, for thousands of years, we've used gold and silver as money, mainly silver, obviously. And then in the, we went through, Cliff and I went through a lot of this, but in the early 1900s, industrialization kicked in and we used up all that silver as industrial products. Most of the silver in the world, probably about 50 billion ounces of the 60 billion ounces, is in landfills. Like 55 billion. It's estimated we can get our hands on about 6 billion ounces of silver, and that's it. You melt down all the cups and silverware and fillings and all that stuff. And right now in the ETFs, I think it's about 2 billion ounces or close to 2 billion ounces in the ETFs. So we're running out. There's 6 billion ounces of gold. Why anybody has gold in their possession, I have no idea. Not even to mention all the gold we have in the Grand Canyon and Chocolate Mountain in California that Dianne Feinstein locked up in the desert wildlife preserves in Alaska. I mean, you could see them just digging in the sand, pulling gold out of the sand in Alaska. There's so much gold in Anwar, it's insane. And people still want to hold gold. I have no idea why. Because they believe guys like Jeffrey Christian, who will lie through their tape as they're straightening their toupee. Anyway, yes, definitely. If you're a crypto person, you should have had silver in your possession long ago. If you're a silver and gold person, you got a great time to buy cryptos. It's another slam. Why do they slam? So cryptos got slammed this morning. Why'd they get slammed? Mainly, people are pointing to, well, it's a click of a mouse for the U.S. Treasury and the Fed to slam cryptos. Just so everybody's clear, cryptos are not freely traded. Not at all. And someone said, which one's more or less freely traded, gold, silver, or cryptos? And I said, none of them. They're all 100% controlled with computers and derivatives. Every exchange out there does not have the coins that they trade. Every single exchange. In gold, in silver, and especially in cryptos, which is, quote, unregulated. But if you have it in your possession, that's a whole different world. Get cryptos, get them in your possession. Great time. When there's fear in the markets, that's when you want to buy. Bitcoin down 10%. Most cryptos are down 10, 15%. It's a gift. And you know who's buying right now? JP Morgan and those assholes. So, yeah, buy your cryptos. Anyway, this is why they're saying it's cryptos have fallen. The SEC has blocked Anthony Scaramucci's Bitcoin ETF. Well, the SEC is on the side of the deep state pedos. Remember that. They're the bad guys. The SEC, the regulator that regulates all the stock markets of the world. They are deep state pedos. I hate to tell you, that's who controls them. I don't hate to tell you. It's a fact. And they control the entire system. So they're not going to let a Trump supporter like Scaramucci have an ETF. We don't want ETFs in Bitcoin. Are you kidding? We don't want any derivatives in Bitcoin. We don't want the exchanges to be open in Bitcoin. Decentralized exchanges, peer-to-peer, Reggie Middleton's invention, that's what we want. And that can be done with gold and silver as well. You can securitize gold and silver by using Veritasium, the intellectual property of Reggie Middleton. I hope everybody understands that. Most people on the road to Ruta do. So that's where we are. All you private road members, get your asses over to the private road to watch the, it's about a 10-minute video. I'm talking before it and after it about clipping my conversation about the bad guy's next attack. It's very important. You can't run away from it. That's on the private road. Road we give away right now for the private road. If you hit subscribe today at roadtoruta.com, we're giving away 50 Theta Fuel on a paper wallet. Theta Fuel is going to blow sky high when the time is right. And I've been saying that about everything I've given away. I'd say 90% of the cryptos I gave away have done very well. Obviously, I was giving away 0.1 Bitcoin, for Christ's sake. And I think the subscription was, it's $299, and you got 0.1 Bitcoin. But that's time. When you're a hodler, time is what makes the difference. So I'm giving away 50 Theta Fuel, and over time, they'll pay for themselves on the private road. I believe. Now, it's not a guarantee. I have some that still haven't paid for themselves. That's okay. That's okay. There's no guarantees in life. That's why they call it investing. It's kind of like a rigged casino, so you got to know when the rig's going to happen. Right now, the rig is happening. JP Morgan and friends are loading up on cryptos because they want it in the future. They know 5 years from now, these things are going to be worth more than gold. Not all of them. Not more than silver, though. My God, if you don't have silver now, if you don't have a local broker, I always say, go to your local guy first. You need to establish relationships with your local guys, buy and sell from them, work 2 or 3 off each other to get the best price. If you can't do that or don't want to do that, you can contact my broker, Andy Scheckman, who is the sponsor of the road show this year. You can reach him at info, I-N-F-O, at milesfranklin.com or Andy at milesfranklin.com. But he said use the info because he's getting a lot of people buying silver. The silver price has nothing to do with supply and demand. It all has to do with control of derivatives out of the Fed and the U.S. Treasury Department. Treasury Department has a trading floor in the basement. All they have to do is click a mouse to set the price of silver at negative $40 like they did to oil, along with their friends, the banks at JP Morgan and such. All right? I hope that all makes sense. I do want to point out Michelle Whitedove, our good friend Michelle Whitedove, has posted her latest report. So the way you get that is go to the Patreon, her Patreon channel, Michelle Whitedove Patreon, and you can download the report. It's great. It's got cryptos. It's got a lot of stuff. It's got stuff on the Grand Canyon, on Jekyll Island. Awesome stuff. A lot of it confirming what the Road to Ruta research has shown. And the closer we get to D-Day, the day that everything is revealed, you're going to see Michelle's work really start to shine, as well as the Road to Ruta. We are in lockstep right now. So no Jenny video. We couldn't get our schedules right this week, but she will be back next week. She's been nailing it. The silver cavalry is just making her tingle as she walks down the street right now. She's like, it's happening, it's happening. Hang on tight, it's happening. So if you want to get a reading, go to JennyConstantine.com and get a reading from the one and only Jenny Moonstone, JennyConstantine.com. Go check her out. Say hi. She's so cool. Great to have a reading with, and she's just been spot on about Road to Ruta stuff and my life stuff. She nails it. Everything. Go check her out as well. All right? It's Bix Weir, RoadToRuta.com. I'll talk to you later.
So we were out on the mountain range yesterday prospecting for little gemstones and crystals and whatever else you want to talk about.
Love the crystals, baby.
And Big says, I kind of had this vision, weird thing of almost like an Indian lady spirit, like kind of helping us, guiding us, and was inspired to write a freaking song literally on the mountainside. He's like, I'm going to go over here for a little bit, guys. He's over there writing a song. So I come out here this morning, and I'm hearing him playing. I'm like, holy shit, I got to go grab my camera and film this. Go for it.
Hi, Snippy fans. It's called Secret Treasures, or Secret Treasures Lost in Time. And it's got an Indian chant before you, and I'm not Indian, so I'll butcher it.
Picture the Indian, like an Indian voice doing it. Oh, it'd be phenomenal.
Mystic fog rolls in, spirit alive within the wind. An ancient woman, an Indian. Is this the body I once lived in? Hear her voice, she calls to me, describes an ancient mystery, a place where ghosts protect treasures lost in time. Seek your soul, so shall ye find secret treasures lost in time. hey, 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 hey. Mysteries of where we came. History has all been changed. To find the opening, you must give up the past. Belief and faith are all that last. Says to me, I now must go. Your journey awaits above, below. You'll find the clues in time, and always trust your mind. Secret treasures lost in time. Secret treasures lost in time.
Holy crap.
Wow.
There you go.
I think I just filmed the music video.
You got all that on the mountain yesterday?